We would like to begin by acknowledging the traditional owners of the lands on which this project is recorded, the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation. We would also like to pay our respects to elders past, present, and emerging.
Settle down and gather round for another tale. In the world of Nuar, where time has carved and cultivated a magical utopia of wonder, a small group of adventurers unlock the deep mysteries of the land, its people, and themselves. Welcome to the Down Under Dungeon podcast.
Soup de jour recipe number 822. Sweet and sentient pie people. Step 1. To make your dough, combine flour, salt, sugar, butter, and water and mold into your desired shape. Ensure that your butter and water are very cold, as it will apparently make your pie person much sexier. Step 2. Create 100 gold pieces worth of filling. I recommend using golden apples or some other kind of magical valuable fruit, but hey, if you want a sentient giant pastry with 100 gold pieces worth of normal apples stuffed inside of them, that is not Denis' business. Simply adjust your cooking time to suit your filling. Step 3. Gently stuff the dough with your filling, adding spices and herbs to your liking. Also be sure of the effects of your tinkering before you commit. Bud has developed a bit of an ego since I added cinnamon to him. And finally, step 4, bake your pie person at 200 degrees for 40 minutes. Allow 5 minutes to cool and for life to find a way, and voila, you've baked yourself a pie person. Oh sure, I can create sentient life from apples, no problem, but talking to Plimp like a normal person? It seems unlikely. Why, oh why does she despise me so? What suffering must I endure to win her affections? She's not impressed by my recent escapades in Carefostia, winning cooking competitions and uncovering secret animal fighting rings. Nor does she seem to respond to my overt, outward and frankly obvious favoritism. Bud says I am coming on too strong, but his sage advice may be a compromise ever since I sold him and remade him again. We have but recently departed the frozen dwarf city and continued on our expedition to the Umbra Isles. Many challenges await us there, I am sure. We met a handful of helpful air elementals who watch the skies atop the most adorable fluffy wyverns you have ever seen. They warned us of vicious dragons that guard the passage east to Shadowfell, and of another far greater monstrosity, the most terrifying wereworm. Although these beasts seem beyond our current abilities, I have no doubt in my mind that the Wellspringers are more than enough for the perils that await us.
You could also just call the duck merde, which is like the kind of one of the worst French swear words.
Merde.
Merde.
So sorry to our French. We have 4 French listeners.
Yeah,
Oh, do we?
No, I don't know.
I would like to personally apologise to the 4 French listeners.
Take anything I say seriously about French. I speak. Je ne parle pas français.
How do you say sorry in French?
Je suis désolé.
Yeah, there we go.
Done. We've ticked the appropriate boxes.
Je suis très désolé.
Alrighty, so back aboard the Halligast for our first push eastward. It was very eventful, both on and off board, as the Halligast begins to move strangely as it's moving this far east. No maps have been recorded of this, and Holly is beginning to notice strange things in the positioning of the moons and the stars, but she hasn't had much time to deal with any of that for the last few days. Because sailing the Halligast has always been a challenge, but maneuvering it through the frozen archipelago has been a new and greater burden to bear. Those who struggle to see in the dark have been relegated to below-deck duties, and it is a constant battle to predict howling winds, spot markers for bearings, and maintain equipment from the biting cold, all the while attempting to evade the watchful eyes and keen smell of the dragon-ridden isles below you. Wellspringers, for those who have dark vision and are now useful above deck, normally like people wouldn't discriminate and we would just have arcane lights and lanterns up for people during the dark, but you do not want to be seen by the terrible white dragons. So for those who have dark vision, how are you going about keeping warm and where do we find you aboard the frozen ship? And for those who aren't able to go outside, how are you maintaining morale and order beneath the deck, below deck, season 9?
Denis has dark vision, so he's going to be above deck, and he's going to be trying to dish out to others, but also himself, just the spiciest fucking soup that you've ever tasted. Like, he's casting firebolt into the soup, which is his extra hot sauce, to just try and soup in my eyes, potentially cause some harm to people, but they will not get frostbite on his watch.
Wonderful. Who else has dark vision and is above deck?
Lysandra has dark vision. Using Denis' soup as like power to keep her warm, she's going to be running around helping chip out any ice that's stopping like the steering wheel from moving, help loosen up ropes, do whatever she can with her strength to basically help the crew.
Have you been using your shadow on board the ship to also help?
I would say so, yeah. I'd say as we get closer toward the Shadowfell, she's definitely bringing it out and using it. Using it to like teleport up into the mast and, you know, untie ropes and things like that.
And what did your shadow touch things? That's actually so cool.
What's the rumour you've been spreading to the crew about your shadow so the crew haven't freaked out and burnt you at the stake?
I say that it's Pud.
No, Pud. They know what Pud looks like. Pud is full on like everyone else is like bent in the cold and then the sleet and the snow, and Pud is just like full on just standing there, just mewing, just taking it.
It's not even cold.
Frosty.
I honestly think at this point, Lysandra's kind of just given up on trying to convince people that she's not a like monster or a demon. If they say anything, she's just like, yeah, so deal with it.
So Lysandra's almost taking a bit power in that fear at this point now.
Yeah, she's kind of sick and tired of being told that she is a certain thing, so she's just kind of embracing it now.
Louis is taking time below deck, so she does not have dark vision, and is kind of just going back to her community roots here. She's a little bit distant from the rest of the Wellspringers at the moment since her kind of tiff with Lysandra, and so is just kind of being a little bit of a wandering minstrel down underneath, kind of playing a tune and keeping spirits up. Just the very well-known ones, almost like a person walking around at a fire playing Wonderwall and getting people to just join in.
Very bad, very out of tune rogues, all singing in the wrong key, different times. Mm-hmm. Awful.
It's for literally every pub on a Friday night.
Yes.
Feng also doesn't have dark vision, but normally is impeded by that. Normally he can just, cast some daylight or cast some fire to be able to see, but obviously he can't do that because it will draw dragons close to us, so he's throwing a tantrum about the fact that he can't go up onto the deck and is being a crybaby about it to Promi.
Can you give me a nature check, Feng, or an animal handling, whatever you'd like?
Animal handling is much higher, please. That will be a 17.
17. With Grick feeding the Mantelopes extra portions and you keeping a watchful eye, Patrick is well on the mend, but Cecilia is well on the way. And you can see that she is well and truly into the late stages of her gestation at this point. She's getting very moody. Like, she will snap at Patrick periodically and then be all lovey-dovey again. Patrick just takes it.
Feng finds someone to put together a birthing plan for Cecilia.
Grick with just his pneumonia-riddled lungs with an inflatable pool just just blowing up the paddle pool. It's a home birth. At this point, I'm going to need someone to roll the ship morale check. I will say you have been doing your duties of your bardliness and your cooking and keeping things in tip-top. I don't think you've done anything specific to raise morale in this time, so this will be a flat DC roll.
I feel that the cook needs to roll this bad boy.
Go for it.
Sweet. And what are we adding to this?
You just need to roll above a 10.
Roll above a 10.
Let's go.
Come on, mama. That's a 16.
Nice.
16 and does it. Despite the wind, the sleet, the storm, and the ever-present threat of dragons, the morality on the ship is sustained and goes up by 1.
Woohoo! What's it at now?
2.
Hooray!
Yippee!
Winning.
Which is good.
That is good. Like,
0 is normal, so
Yeah.
2 is very good.
as a whole, it's like a 7.
For those above on deck, I now need you to roll a stealth check for me. So that will be Denis and Lysandra.
Denis got a 14.
You're gonna hate me. I got a 4.
I'm just rolling. This has a plus 10 to the check. Above deck, you hear nothing but the noises that the ship has to make to move forward. You see Holly has the arcane engine on its lowest possible setting, just so you are barely able to move forward and not be buffeted by the wind, but you're not like jetting through this place. The scratch, the chipping of ice. And Lysandra, just as you stand up and wipe the frozen sweat from your brow, you see a shadow to the left. And then another shadow to the right of the ship. You have the alert feature, which is why I'm doing this to you first.
Oh.
What does Lysandra do?
Dragons!
I need everyone to roll initiative.
I've
Let's do
got
it.
good initiative. I never roll well.
Now, I pre-rolled for these 2 adult white dragons.
Fuck off. Sorry.
Alright, bye.
We're leaving.
I pre-rolled. They rolled a 4 and a 5 on their initiative. Did anyone roll below a 7 on their initiative?
Denis rolled exactly a 7.
Okay.
Lysandra rolled a 5.
Okay.
Louis got a 12.
Feng got an 8.
Okay. So, for the purposes, the ship will move first before the dragons. So you see Holly takes her piloting check. I will roll that for her now. You see Holly turns to Finkel, who looks like a what are they called? The marshmallows dipped in chocolate snowballs.
Oh, yes.
Just like a snowball, just like wrapped up. All you can see poking through is his nose through his hood. And Holly shouts back to Finkel and says, "Finkel, cut it!" And Finkel reaches back and turns off the arcane engine as the heligas begins to dip and turn and dive down below the clouds. That is the ship's turn. As the heligas begins to fall and dip beneath the clouds out of the sky to evade the dragons, I'm going to need Denis and Lysandra to make a dexterity saving throw as you are lurched back.
We got this.
Yeah.
We got this.
We do got
We got
this.
this. Denis rolled a 12.
Lysandra rolled a 17.
Yes.
Well done, they both pass.
Oh, yes.
You see, though, some of the rogues of the ship, 2 in fact, are flung off in this snap decision, and 2 of them are just gone into the maelstrom. Those underneath the deck, I need a constitution saving throw, please.
Okay. Do I have to roll for Cecilia and Patrick too?
We'll see what you roll first.
Feng got a 12.
Louis got a 19.
They both pass. Louis, you are able to get all of the rogues off of the benches in the mess hall and kind of push the furniture to the side of the wall very quickly. Feng just gets angry, swells a size beer, and just umbrellas Patrick and Cecilia, and the debris just bounces off of him. That is the dragon's turns. Denis, Lysandra, you see the shadows of enormous wings pocket marked with holes that have obviously been ripped apart by other dragons or ice shards, as these two bright blue, brilliant eyes appear through the clouds. They are going to launch their breath weapon attacks on the Halligast. Denny, you are the most senior wellspringer on deck. I'm going to need you to roll the ship's constitution saving throw, please.
All right, here we go.
How is he the most senior?
Well, you two are on top of the deck. You guys are...
Lysandra's there.
She's only a powder monkey.
Oh, right.
Yes, like
Oldest one, like,
That was not clear.
He's like,
Sorry.
canonically 19.
Yeah.
No, but you're the chef.
Well, I understand you mean positional.
Right, sorry,
Yeah.
no.
No, you're good. All right, here we go. Constitution saving throw. It's a 6.
That is not going to do it. No! Denny, I need you to roll 12d8 for me.
12?
Do you want it to be 14?
No. Sorry, sir. All right. Here we go. 64 points of damage.
So the Halligast takes 128 points of cold damage as you see these dragons absolutely blast the side of the ship with rime. Those underneath below deck, you have to move out of the way as these giant jagged splinters of ice move through and like pierce into barrels on the other side of the wood of the ship. You see immediately it starts to plummet faster as suddenly the weight of the Halligast has almost doubled. I will now also need, at the end of the dragon's turn, Denny and Lysandra to make me a DC 14 wisdom saving throw.
Yes, sir.
Mama. Here we go. We got this. Denny rolled a 9.
Lysandra rolled a 10.
It's a DC 14. With the dragon's frightful presence, you two are now frightened for 1 minute.
Not again.
Great, that is now the crew check. I'll need to make their wisdom save to not be frightened. You see Charity and Finkel are both terrified by the dragons. Charity has completely abandoned the bird's nest and tried to retreat below deck. Finkel is cowering underneath the arcane engine himself, holding his head in his hands. You see Holly is the only one there remaining, piloting the ship. And you see she is going to turn violently to the left in trying to swerve out of the range of the dragons. I'm going to need another dexterity saving throw from Denny and Lysandra.
While you have the frightened condition, you experience the following effects. Ability checks and attacks affected. You have disadvantage on ability checks and attack rolls while the source of the fear is within line of sight. And you can't willingly move closer to the source of the fear. So
Beautiful,
we should be good.
You're fine with saving throws.
All right, here we go.
Thank God.
Big money. Dexterity?
Yes.
Denny got a 20.
20.
Lysandra got a 5.
5. Lysandra, I need a strength saving throw from you, please.
Here we
Yeah,
go.
sure. What's the DC I need to beat?
Do you really want to know before you roll?
I do, because I have a +8 to this.
It's just a 10.
Okay, so I need to roll
No,
a 2.
don't say that.
I asked him.
God.
I asked.
So all...
That's a 14.
14.
Thank God.
You take... I love you're level 6 now. I reach for the D8s, not the D6s. You take 14 points of bludgeoning damage.
Oh my God.
As you smash into the railings on the side of the Halligast and just are able to hang on and not flip over. Another rogue goes from the Halligast, though.
And you'd tell us if it was Plimp or Daisy, yes.
I will tell you if it's one of our lauded NPCs.
Well, there's only 15 on board, including us, correct?
Yes.
So statistically, we have lost someone we know. Because we've named 12 of them. So, including us, there's 12 named NPCs. So we have potentially lost someone we know.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not Plimp or... it's not Plimp, yeah? Plimp's
Well,
fine.
there's a lot of people that, like, if we've lost Greek, if we've lost...
But that's what I'm asking. You would tell us if that was the... what
Yes,
was it?
yes. These are just the rogues that Bastet had filled up.
The dead weight.
Yes.
Cool. The fodder. The literal dragon fodder.
Okay, that is it. Holly has made a piloting check. The ship is in no good condition, but you do see you have broken from the clouds that you were hiding from and you now have a clear view of the archipelago below you. It is now your turn, Denny and Lysandra. What do you want to do?
Can I make a perception check to see if we can see any of these big wormholes?
Go for it.
Excellent. That's a 12.
I am going to say at this point, you can only really make out shapes and colours. If you were in a better position of the ship, i.e. the front of the ship, you would be able to see more, but that is where the dragon's frost breath went off, so you are more exposed over there. If you want to make your way down there, you can.
Denny is going to bonus action dash down to the front of the ship and try and perceive again, see if he can figure out where to direct Holly.
Okay, you've done your check for this round, but you are primed for the next round. Lysandra.
I think Lysandra's going to do the same. She's going to see what Denny's doing and try and find a tunnel to go into.
You are dangling off the side of the ship, so you have the best view of this.
Amazing.
Surely dangling off the side gets advantage.
Surely?
Why not?
Thank goodness. That's a 19.
The DC was a 19.
Yes.
Yay.
Far below the Halligas, Lysandra, you spy an inky black blotch in the gloom beneath the starboard side of the Halligas. It seems to be gouged into one of the islands. Ice sheets pushing up the currents of the deep sea have begun to fall into the vast expanse, and that is what you see with a DC 19. It is directly below the starboard side of the Halligas.
Beautiful. Can Lysandra yell out to Holly, turn to starboard?
You see Holly nods in reply and begins making the necessary preparations to make the tight hairpin turn.
While Denny's at the front of the ship, can he try to cast some extra hot sauce to try and melt some of this ice off?
Go for it.
Excellent. Rolling to hit. That's a 26.
26. I wouldn't say it's hot sauce at this point. You pull out one of those little propane torches for creme brulee and start going onto this ice. Well done, you're able to do that. Below deck, what are you doing?
Would we have enough time to be able to get... Obviously, this happened a round ago where we felt the ship moving and things happening. So would we have had enough time to get to on top of the deck if we wanted to?
Yes, I will say you have to make a flat dexterity check just to be able to clamber over the people and the loose cargo and everything to get up there. So it's a flat DC 10 dexterity check and you can get up here at the start of your turn.
Feng wants to do that.
Go for it.
It's a 9.
You arrive up on the deck, but it'll be at the end of your turn, not at the start of your turn. Which probably makes sense because you're probably putting in what are they, toddler gates for for Cecilia.
Keep put out of there.
Yeah.
Louis is going to attempt to make that dexterity check to get up on top of the deck with her not great dexterity modifier. Nope, doesn't make it.
You do make it, but at the end of your turn, not at the start of your turn.
Okay, that's not helpful.
That is the dragons. They are going to take 2 bites at the ship. What is the Halligas AC, please?
12.
12. Oops.
Wait, but we add piloting checks or...
Holly's already made it for the round.
Sure.
Yeah.
But,
So what did she
add that to 12?
Oh, sorry. She rolled a 15, so you add a +2 to that AC.
So it becomes a 14.
Sorry, so it's a 14 into the AC. One rolled a 3, but it has a +11 to hit, so that is 14. You take 2 massive bites from these dragons. You take 36 points of piercing damage, and you see one of these adult white dragons has just chomped one of the cannons off and torn it off the ship.
Oh no!
We've only got 12, so it's good.
You got 3 now.
Yeah. Shit. Hey, you said we were frightened for a minute.
Yes.
Does that mean at the end of this round we're not frightened anymore?
Yes.
Yay!
Yep.
And does that then mean that we're immune to being frightened by these guys?
Yes, for the next 24 hours you're immune.
Failing upwards.
It's also with the dragon's choice, and they're more worried about getting your ship down than frightening you at this point. Okay, back to the top of the round. You see Holly's going to make a piloting check. There's a nat 1 on the piloting check.
Feng's up there now. Could that give advantage?
Oh my god, the boatswain.
The boatswain.
Yes.
Would I have had the chance? Then I'm using my action retroactively.
Yeah, I will allow you to give the help action, but it will cost your entire turn to do it.
Yeah, Feng will give Holly the help action, of course.
Holly's going to make that check again. 13 plus 5, 18, so plus 3 to the Halligast's AC, and you see Holly puts the Halligast into a tight spiral as you are falling towards this enormous hole. As the ship dives towards the entrance, your pursuers suddenly break off, circling back and spitting ice in fury. Like a spell being cast. As soon as the Halligast spirals into the threshold of the tunnel, the noise of the frigid archipelago muffles, and the cold, biting wind is replaced with a thick, stale, and unsettlingly warm air, greeting you to a new and total darkness. Holly pulls the ship out of the spiral and is able to just miss shaving the side of this enormous tunnel that you're in.
Oh my god.
To put it this way, 2 Halligasts could fly side by side in this tunnel without touching each other. That's how big this thing is. It is absolutely huge. You see sea ice has started to fall into the tunnel itself, and there's all of this crunched up slushy ice at the mouth of the tunnel. You are all on top of the deck now. You see the ship completely in ruins from the dragon attack. What do the Wellspringers do?
I mean, Denis is gonna go up to Finkel and say, "Hey, can we start casting mending to try and repair the ship as much as possible?"
Oh, yeah, Denny, I can just help me with my gloves.
Okay, buddy.
Help me with my gloves.
All right, so Denis gonna help Finkel with his gloves.
You pull up his gloves and he's just blue fingers.
Are the heating lamps that I set up around the ship still there?
Yes, but you had to turn them off for the dragons.
Right.
Oh, you'll be fine.
Okay.
You'll be all good.
Okay, he's gonna make a tinkering check with disadvantage unless you help him.
Yeah, I'm gonna help him.
Okay, just flat.
Yep.
He rolled in that one!
Bastard.
You see,
I smack him upside the head.
the Finkel's doing this thing with a dad trying to get a lawnmower started, and everyone's expecting him to do it on the first pull, and it's taking him 5 or 6 pulls to try and get Q turned back on. It takes a long while, and you see some of the rogues who had been relegated to the below deck are now moving up and looking into this enormous tunnel. Some of them are speechless, some of them look scared, and it's not for a long time until finally the familiar hum of the Halligast returns and Charity begins lighting the lanterns once again.
I think while it's dark and cold down here and everyone's kind of starting to move their way back up, I'd like to use my inspiring leader feat to take 10 minutes to kind of inspire the group. Technically it's up to 6 allies, but I just want to kind of do it as a general sort of, okay, we've made it through. Everybody take a second, check in with everyone, check in if there's anybody who needs to talk about anything or anything that needs to be addressed, let us know, and just kind of try to foster that community connection back together amongst all this fear. Actually, I have a thing that is new that I can use here for this, just for flavor purposes. At this level of my bardic stuff, I can bibbidi-bobbidi-boo bullshit, which means I can basically make a larger or smaller non-magical item you can see within 30 feet of me animate. So I'm going to do that to my flute, so it's going to play a little accompaniment as it goes around with me. And as it does, I think it is literally just Louis going around to everyone and checking up and being like, hey, you okay? What happened during that fight? Just check in with your mate here. Let's just get everybody together. Let's keep it all together. If anyone has anything they need to say, just come have a chat. Let's look after each other, yeah? And it's just very calm, meditative flute music.
Give me a persuasion check.
Sure. That is a 14.
You are able to calm the crew in this moment, Louis, but the morality that you've bonded, it's almost yes, it's been difficult the last 2 weeks, but because it's been so difficult, you've had to rely on each other, which has kind of increased the morality here. But in this space, at this time, you are starting to question how long words of affirmation are going to last, especially down here. There are no maps of the wereworm's tunnels, but the improvements made to the Halligas by Q and Finkel enable the ship to maintain its own magnetic compass bearing. As far as Holly is concerned, they will continue to follow the tunnel eastward as long as they can, and hope to resurface closer to Shadowfell than when you all entered. Holly, Finkel, and Charity have all remarked at the strange structure of the wereworm's tunnel. First, believing it to be the spiralling habit of the worm itself as it digs, but it soon becomes apparent the earth this far down is in and of itself knitted and bound together in a mishmashing and undulating pattern. Anyone who is proficient can make me an Arcana check.
Louis would love to.
Denis is proficient in Arcana.
Of course, they're both proficient in Arcana.
I was so sorry that you guys suck at something.
God, magic users.
Denis rolled a 26.
Louis did not roll anywhere near that.
Denny, you have compared your notes with Finkel, and it seems that certain sedimentary formations, couldn't exist naturally this far down. This type of rock shouldn't exist below this type of rock in the normal formation, and several of Finkel's instruments are picking up on these different resonances from different layers of rock. Holly and Charity believe that this is a physical manifestation of the weave, a current deep beneath the earth of pure ancient magic, holding the very material plane and perhaps remnants of other planes together.
But it looks like rocks, right?
Pretty much.
Physical rocks?
Yes.
Sweet. Could I send Put out to try and grab some?
Okay.
Put can fly.
Let's do that.
I'm terrified.
Give me a luck check, please, Oscar.
Certainly. It's a 19.
Okay.
Pretty lucky.
What do you do? What's your command to Pud?
Denny looks down at Pud and says,
But if you could go and grab just a small sample size, I want to make you a special dinner with it.
What with?
The rocks over there, the ones that look a little bit weird. I don't want to get into it with
Rocks and dinner.
Yeah, you like it. I promise you will like. Do you trust me, man?
Not really.
Okay, well, if you could just trust me for 10 minutes and go grab this thing, bring it back, we're going to study it, and then I will make you your favorite dinner. How's about that?
You're not going to sell me again?
No, I would never sell you again. I got you back.
My body feels weird.
Yeah, but you look better.
It's not the same.
Look, no offense, buddy, you were kind of a mess before, and you're fucking hot now. This has worked out well for you.
If I'm so hot, why am I carving rocks?
Because you can fly.
Oh! I actually didn't know that. Sick.
he flies faster than he walks.
Oh!
He's got 30 feet of flying and 20 feet of movement.
Alright, I guess.
Little apple leaves that just kind of flutter.
Thanks.
Like a little propeller.
Yeah, like a little fairy propeller toys.
I don't think it's that cute. I think his just head just starts to spin.
Oh, I was imagining him farting his way.
No. Okay, easy.
He's got immunity to poison.
Great. With that last check and with his ability to fly, you see Pud is able to get you a couple of samples of rocks.
Excellent. Could I taste these rocks?
You can taste them.
Excellent. And could I direct my tasting? Do they taste similar to the mushroom petrified feet that Feng got last time?
Interesting. I would say no. It is a distinct flavour, but it is of the same flavour profile in the sense of
umami.
Yeah, you taste obsidian, sulfur, and something really sweet and kind of cotton candy-ish.
Right.
Oh, do you mean that thing that the air elementals gave me?
Yes.
Yeah. I was thinking the mushroom I got many episodes ago.
I think Denny's going to take that to Finkel and try and get Finkel's opinion on not only this bit of sort of weave rock, but also on the comparison to Feng's thing from before, and just try and suss out what another artificer mind thinks of this.
He can definitely run some tests if you want to check back in with him in a few days. And for the listeners at home, I'm putting days in quotation marks because it is dark down here. There is no day and night here. And so we are just going to roll piloting checks as normal, but things are a little bit different down here, and you don't know where this worm has tunneled through or where it leads. So I am going to make a piloting check for Holly, and I'm going to make a navigation check for Charity.
Oh, Charity's got the worm sightings on the map, right?
This was where this is how you got to this place. Anyway.
Okay, sorry, yeah.
I'm going to need someone to roll a D10 for the first encounter, please.
I'll do it.
Holly and Charity rolled a 7 and a 3.
That's a 3.
Denny,
Yes, Daddy.
10d6 psychic.
That's actually a great homebrew rule, just if you ever call the DM Daddy.
After a week or so, or as much as you can fathom in time, the monotony of the surrounds begins to pique your curiosity. You're bored, essentially. It's a dark cave. At least up in the sky, you have things to look at. And when all the crew are asleep or at their watches, and you are just, cleaning up, maybe throwing some of the rotten food overboard, you notice the door to the captain's quarters is slightly ajar. A narrow ribbon of golden red light and the form of your captain hunched over a desk and madly scribbling.
Okay. Denny's gonna try and stealth, maybe not into the cabin, but close enough to overhear what's going on in there.
Give me a stealth check.
Alrighty. That's a 22.
I'm going to say you're able to move over to the door and peek your head in. I'm going to give you this chance now. I can describe to you what you see from the door, but with that stealth check, I will enable you to roll another one and get maybe more information.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Denny's got good stealth, so he'll try and roll again. It's another 22.
Covering the desk, you see the skull of an ox, painted in red glyphs and resting on an engraved golden sequined pattern upon the desk. You see scrolls with strange markings, a scepter of pure jade, several empty goblets, and a few bowls of half-eaten gruel. Slumped over them is your captain, and just by the feel, you're a chef. When people walk in, you like to be like, what's their mood and how can I address that? She hasn't been eating your food. She looks stressed. Holly has always been someone who understands that their appearance is a tool, and it seems like she has abandoned that tool completely in this moment.
Can Denis make an Arcana check on, the scrolls and the magic going on?
Do it.
Alright, here we go. Nat 20.
Damn.
You don't know what spell she is writing, because this is not a spell that is known. It appears Holly is trying to create a spell.
Interesting.
Now, she does have a very high passive perception, and not to mention alarm spell in the doorway, and you just see her ear twitch, and she just turns around and looks at you, Denny.
Denny's gonna try and play it off like he was just trying to clear some glasses, and he's gonna go, "Oh, pardon me, madame, I was just coming in to see if you had any cutlery.
We're always running out of spoons."
So sorry, madame, I was just coming in to see if you had any extra cutlery. We are always running out of spoons and utensils like that, so, but now that I'm here, are you okay? You seem to be struggling a little bit. Is the gruel not to your liking?
We're gonna make an opposed deception check here.
Here we go, lads. That's a 12.
She looks at you and says, "I'm fine, Denny, thank you. Sorry, my appetite's been not great lately, but I'm fine. Does this?" And she gestures to the plates. She says, "Does this fulfill you?"
What, they are cooking?
Yeah.
Yes, very much so. It fulfills me right up. Once I am done with the food and I've eaten it, I'm very fulfilled.
And the Wellspringers, chef. What do you see in them?
Denny's kind of thrown back by that, I think. I think Denny is not used to people thinking that he has thoughts and opinions, especially captains and people of authority in the places that he's cooking. He's very used to sort of passing under the radar with them. And so to be sort of asked what he thinks of these wonderful people who have taken him in, he's going to just quietly mention that, I do not come from much. I think I bring some things to the table, pun intended, but I do not bring great magics or a perfect understanding of the nature of the weave or brilliant fighting ability, but they don't care. And I come from a place where that sort of stuff is very, very important, and I feel very blessed to have people around me who love me for who I am.
Just a small, helpless little fellow, aren't you?
That's me, baby!
You know what happened to their last small, helpless little friend, right?
Denny.
Do you know?
I don't think he fully does know that. I think he's figured out from context clues and will repeat as such to Holly. Look, I'm not super over all of the details. I understand his name was Quig. He was a very powerful magical practitioner and...
not that powerful.
Okay, well, I don't know. I can't exactly argue with you here, so, let me at least be respectful of the dead. Look, I don't know. I have not pressed them for it because it seems like a bit of a touchy subject, but, I will be fine. I'm sure.
Just as you eat food and are fulfilled by that, some people consume people and are fulfilled by that.
I also consume people sometimes. The goblins do not have such conniptions about...
Denny, I do not have the bandwidth to deal with this now, so I'm just going to gloss over your latent cannibalism.
That's fair enough, too.
Just be careful.
Of what?
Intentions.
Intentions?
Yours are pure and simple, and I respect that, Chef. I cannot say the same for all your party members. And the Lady Louis is not what she seems.
No, what is she, as far as you are aware?
The candy and the brassy demeanor, they serve her well, just as your food serves you well. But that woman has command of the will of life itself. Beyond that, Denny, and you know this, of any common shadow sorcerer or nutty necromancer, she's something else. I hope you will see it. And fear it, as I do.
I think if Louis is as powerful as you believe her to be, then perhaps the best course of action is to not antagonize her as much as you, no offense, kind of been doing. If you're so deathly afraid of her, surely she is a better ally than enemy.
Louis is one person I have to worry about on this ship, one of many, including yourself, Denny.
You need not worry about me, little Denny got up to nothing.
Right. Well, let's hope you are right, Denny. And let's hope that there are people who are a little bit more switched on to step in if things go wrong.
What, then me? And gets distracted and leaves the room.
It is your first week down here in the Underdark. How is the party adjusting?
Well, I feel like we should probably acknowledge that we lost 3 people. No one's really acknowledged that yet. So can we find out who they were?
These were just 3 rogues from Feldspar. From what you gathered, the 3 rogues you lost were pretty much just your run-of-the-mill vagabonds or orphans picked up by Bastet in Feldspar. And Lysandra, it occurs to you that you yourself were once a vagabond on the streets of Feldspar, and you could have, in an alternate universe, have been snatched up by Bastet and not the Priory. And that is interesting, I feel.
Yeah, that is definitely interesting to think about. Man, fate's weird.
And then you look at Holly. So I think that is the biggest thing you get from those rogues' death. Yes, the loss is bad, and it will mean you will be rolling with disadvantage on your next morality check, but that connection to home and the fact that, I think Lysandra feels like the world's out to get her a little bit, and it's like, sure, but she didn't die in obscurity as some rogue on a ship somewhere, never to be known ever again. And whether you like it or not, Lysandra's already put more of a stamp on Nua than most people ever would have anyway in the first place. Especially when we're comparing it to these non-hero figures,
Yeah. I think feeling those feelings and seeing similarities and understanding the mark that the Wellspringers, and more importantly herself, has on this space and this world, Lysandra is going to go over to Feng. Feng, I'm not too good at any of this sort of emotional stuff, really. I feel like we should say goodbye to them, like we did with Quig.
Feng will just nod his head and be like, "No, you're so right. I'm pretty good at the emotional stuff," and he'll pluck a hair from his arm and start crying. And
Lysandra puts like a hand on his shoulder. You're also the first mate, and I was thinking that could be the reason that you lead this.
yeah, no, you're so right. I agree. I think the same.
I want Pug to lead this funeral so bad.
So, is there anything you want me to do to help you out?
I don't know. I suppose it depends how big we want to make this.
Well, I don't think it needs to be too big. Like, I don't think we should smoke out the tunnels because we don't want to alert the giant worm that could be coming to devour us, but we're not going to think about that.
No, maybe I'll burn a small flicker, a small ember for each of the 3 that we lost. And also, it's probably good that we learn the last rogue's name. There's only one more rogue on the ship who we don't know their name. That we should probably know that.
We definitely should know that. I will find out.
Thank you.
God damn it.
I mean, yeah, whoever's around, Feng will it doesn't need to be big. He'll do it fast. It's probably just 3 small embers and almost letting them fly off into the distance behind them as they fly further down into this tunnel. And say goodbye to the 3 rogues that they've lost. And Feng in this moment knows that the crew is scared as well and wants to try and reassure them as much as possible. So in this moment, I would like to cast locate animals or plants, and I would like to speak the name of the wereworm and see if I can locate one within 5 miles.
As you do this, you see Promi comes out of his lantern and begins to sing the lament, almost shepherding the embers off into the tunnel. And as you cast Locate Animals, you detect nothing of a wereworm's description within 5 miles. Which is good, which means no worm's going to crash your funeral.
Yes, and that's but it's also me being able to comfort the crew and say, don't worry, we're not in immediate danger. We'll be able to keep traveling for a while, and I'll let you know if it gets close.
You see Holly steps up to you, Feng, after this and says, our numbers aren't looking great, right?
Yeah, so what's the plan?
There's a lot down here that I suspected would be here, but not. Some of the tests Finkel is running on these stones that Pud got suggests that everything here is from the material plane, but it appears that the samples still have the stink of other planes on them, Elysium, Avernus, almost like they were once part of it, but have now ripped and torn into new ones. So, my hypothesis is perhaps we might not be the only ones down here. And with that, there is always opportunity.
So you think there's people down here that we'll be able to recruit?
Well, people might be a loose term thing, but look, beggars can't be choosers. And anyway, we're flying at 3/4 speed through this tunnel anyway, so it's not like we need a full crew, but we cannot lose anyone else.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, we shouldn't have lost those 3.
Right.
We knew that there was dragons. We probably should have been a bit more prepared. We should have had a plan in place. Don't you think?
I just need to get to Shadowfell, Feng, and I just need to get everyone there alive. And
you can't get there if we're not alive either, so...
I know. I just thought I would save the majority.
And what happens when you lose the wrong one?
Well, Feng, when you're captain, let's hope you'll never have to make that decision.
I hope so too, for your sake.
After the end of the first week, we need another encounter. D10, please.
That is a 4.
Up ahead, you see the tunnel has collapsed open into an enormous underground chamber. Amongst the debris at the opening, you see purple arcane lights littering the boulders, illuminating large humanoid forms. I need a perception check from the crew, please.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Here we go.
Anyone get below a 10? Nope?
Nope.
Wonderful. As you begin to move forward, Holly slows the ship again at a kind of non-threatening pace. It appears you have uncovered a colony of mind flayers.
Oh.
Some individuals gaze wearily at your presence, and several of the crew begin to look uneasy and exchange nervous glances. Then one of the mind flayers seems to perk, and their tentacles quiver on their face, and then they start to wave down the Halligast.
As in, wave at us, or sort of say, come over here?
Wave down, bringing you in.
Feng starts waving back.
I know we're quite far away, but could we make some sort of insight, some way to know whether this is some sort of trap?
Would any of us have any history with mind flayers and or know what they are? So
I feel mind flayers are known just because of the sheer diversity in Nua. It would be weird if they weren't known of, but they are a rarity. Up there with, say, Eladrin.
Can we roll something to see if it's a trap?
Just give me an insight check, Denny.
Sure. It's a 6.
With a 6, it appears that the worm has tuned off or gone into their enclave a little bit.
Right.
And they're simply inspecting the damage, right? It also occurs to you that these are incredibly powerful psychic telekinetic beings, and if they wanted to attack you, they probably would have done so by now.
And they also might want to come on a little adventure.
I need someone to teach Feng how to communicate telepathically as an animal. Maybe it can be them.
Someone that could stop people from flying off the ship would be incredibly useful.
What do you do?
Do we go up to them?
Feng's still waving.
I think we go down.
Holly looks at you all and says, all right, but if you get mind flayerified...
Mind flayed.
Let's go with that, Denny. Well done.
Mind flayed.
Yeah, she tussles your hair. 10 minutes, and then we have to keep going.
Yes, ma'am.
So who's descending down on the ropes?
Feng would like to.
Yeah, Lysandra will go down.
Just the Wellspringers then?
Just do the wellspring.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wellspringers and Pud. He's the quartermaster. This is his job, field trips. So he goes down first, and you are greeted by a enormous, live, light blue in complexion mind flayer. You see they extend a hand to each of you, and as you take it, you feel a weird synesthetic reaction take over in your body, like you've just taken a whole packet of home brand Benadryl. And you see the Mind Flayer casts telepathic bond on all of you, introduces themselves and says, "Good day, my name is Lysandra, and welcome." And she gestures to the massive hole behind her. "Welcome to Dullusk. We have lived peacefully here for an age, communing with the wereworm, psychically to deter devourment of our settlement. We understand your trepidation. The world shares it and shuns us for it. In our exile, it has been a long time since we have seen sentient travelers down here."
Sorry, you kind of breathed in when you said the name of the place. Where are we?
Oh, sorry, I'm quite breathy in my mind.
Oh, that was Daniel asking, but okay.
It's the tentacles. People I just got to compensate. Dullusk.
Dullusk.
Yes. Dullusk for those spellers out there.
Okay. Listening at home.
He's furiously writing down Dullusk. Thank you.
Yeah, yes, Feng will introduce himself and the rest of the Wellspringers. Feng, after introducing everyone, will just say, "We're on our way to the Umbra Isles. We're just kind of looking for a way to avoid all of the dragons above."
Dragons above? Oh, it's been an age since we have been above the ground. There are dragons there, you say?
I just need the audience to know that Emerson is putting his hands directly above his head.
It really helps.
Around
It really helps.
You know who this reminds me of? I don't know if anyone's seen Inside Job, but the mushroom from Inside Job.
Well, if it's been an age since you've been above the ground, you must be experts at these tunnels down here. Is it an easy passage through? Can you give us guidance or a map or anything?
We pretty much just stick to ourselves. We know what happens when people come across us. "Oh, Mind Flayer! Oh, they're gonna eat our brains!" Which, sometimes we do.
How many of them are there?
There's only about 6 out here. The other 5 are much further back and are more observing you. It seems that Lysandra was the only one brave enough to come and meet you guys. She explains, Well, we don't really leave our conclave because together our psychic powers keep us safe. However, a nasty disease has been permeating our colony, and many mind flayers have fallen ill and lost their psychic powers as a result. It has weakened our capacity to deter the worm, and she gestures to the hole behind her, hence this minor debacle.
Looks a little more than minor there.
Well, yes, I suppose so. I'm not really good at, hiding emotion?
Me too.
We heralded down your ship for we smelled something incredible.
That may have been my brain.
I don't think we know that that's what they do, right?
She rolled a 6. She rolled a 6. Everyone else except Denny knows that she does not want Denny's brain. No, it appears something delectable, something salted, something...
Soupy?
Yes, that's the word.
Talk to that one for the soups.
Oh, now we want all what the Denny's got over here.
I've never said a bad word about your
Wasn't
soup,
talking
sir.
to you.
Okay.
Talking to the guy who didn't want my brain.
Do you have anything to spare? We don't get much travelers here or merchants. We just kind of, eat lichen and sit around, and that's about it.
Yes, of course. And then he's going to reach into his bag and produce the planar pocket knife, cut it open a thing, and reach in and pull out a little ladle of soup that he's kind of got on the go in there.
Make me a dexterity check, Denny, just because you've kept a lit fire in your wooden pocket plane this entire time.
Sure. Flat dex.
Unless that's where you've been hiding the eternal flame. Or is the eternal flame
It's just
still
always on thing.
Okay.
Flat dex. 17.
17. Miraculously, the fire is still burning normally, and yes, you are able to pull out piping hot soup, and you see the mind flayer's tentacles almost like dribble and like almost eat the spoon, go to like eat the spoon.
Full Zoidberg?
Yeah, and you have to kind of like pull the spoon back a bit, and there's this.
Okay, give back.
And she smacks her lips and says, marvelous. Oh, the ichor of the gods themselves. Who is this demigod who walks amongst you? One who crafts such salves through sauce.
Denny God, but I appreciate it very much. Hello, my name is Denny Gobert. If you would like more soup, I make it every day on the ship, so...
Wonderful, you will come live with us.
No. I have a business to take care of, and lots of other things going on. You do not want me around you, trust me. But if you wish to accompany us on our journey, we could potentially make a little room on the ship for you.
Lydran thinks about this for a second. Well, the Illithids are not getting any better, and perhaps our exile is only exacerbating that. Make a persuasion check.
I'm gonna give you a bardic.
Thank you. Would my soup give me advantage?
Honestly, yes.
Yay! That's a 16 plus 3, 19.
Because it's a skill check, you can re-roll the bardic.
Oh my god, it is a skill check. That's an 8. So 16 plus 8 is 24, minus 2, 22.
DC was 20.
Oh, thank god.
I'm a master of persuasion.
You see Lydran looks at you all and says, it would be permitted, yes?
What would be permitted?
For me to come with you.
We of course.
And you are obviously the leader of this expedition here.
Yes I am.
I feel like Holly might have words about that, but that's okay.
Who is this Holly that defies thee, Denny?
Oh, no. It's not a defying sort of situation. I let Holly run the ship because she is better at that sort of thing. I am obviously very gifted with the soups, as you know.
Yes, right, and she does not submit to your superior cooking abilities, no?
My superior cooking abilities?
Exactly, if she is not to eat, she will perspire, no?
Well, potentially, we don't need to really worry about that. Point is, I allow Holly to run the ship for me so that we do not crash and burn. Because I'm not good at that sort of thing,
Alright, so I pretend that Holly is in charge, but really it is you, Denny.
Oui, exactly.
Give me a moment. And you see Lydrin breaks off the...
Louis is exchanging so many doubtful looks with the other two.
Oh, Feng's
We're all gobsmacked.
yeah, Feng's gobsmacked. We're so fucked.
Lydrin turns to the other mind flayers and begins to rustling her tentacles, and they begin to commune in a language you do not understand, and turns to you all and says, right, well, my colony has informed me I am able to come with you, and if I fail in my mission, I will be banished, never to be returned again.
We will not fail, it'll be fine. Fly us up there.
You see Lydrin touches her temples and begins levitating herself up into the Halligas.
Oh my god.
Is she gonna help us? We have to make her own way.
No, just immediately eyes closed, she's gone.
Oh, shit. Holly, we've got the guest incoming.
And you just hear,
I'm gonna
Okay, that's charity.
well done, you were able to recruit an Illithid to the Halligasts. Can I get another morality check, please, after your second week down in this tunnel, especially with the new addition of an Illithid? I'm going to say this is definitely, you already have disadvantage from losing the rogue, so this is just going to be disadvantaged. Who would like to roll?
What's a 4?
Your morality goes down by 1.
So it means we're at 1 morale.
You're at 1 now.
Sure thing.
You see, Lydrin is putting off the other rogues something shocking in terms of she is able to do the work of 2 of them just with her mind. So while they're scrabbling up into the riggings, adjusting sails, she's just standing there, not even standing, floating cross-legged about 2 feet off the ground, and just kinetically wrapping the ship into all the right, she's mastered all the knots within 45 minutes, I want to say, and the practical application to her telekinesis is giving her much joy, but it's freaking the shit out of everyone else, especially the rogues aboard.
Feng would almost like to snarl at them and go, haven't we learnt enough on this ship by this point to stop judging each other by the things that we can and can't do? Didn't we go through a whole fucking common sign lesson because you were judging someone that couldn't make noise? Are we really going to do this again?
Greek looks at you, Feng, with just the wateriest eyes, and he's like, I've been doing this my whole life, why stop now?
I love you, Greek.
I need another D10 encounter check, please.
That's a 9.
Ooh.
Surely high is good, right?
No.
Feng, after being ridiculed by Greek, you move to the front of the ship, and after a couple of hours of cooling off, you notice something. Can I get a perception check, please, Feng?
Louis walking past is going to give you a bardic as she taps you on the shoulder.
Thank you. I'm going to re-roll that bardic. That perception is a 26.
The DC, no joke, was 25.
Well, funnily enough, I rolled an 18 plus 4 on my normal perception, and I was like, no, I'm still going to use the bardic anyway because it doesn't last long.
With that high perception check, it appears ahead the tunneling of the worm has pierced the underside of a deep gnome's vault, and a small treasure pile has accumulated on the floor of the wereworm's tunnel, just ahead of the Halligasts.
I don't trust it. What do you mean? Is it just sitting in the middle?
Yeah, it's almost like someone's just taken the top off a champagne bottle and it's just dribbling gold.
So it's like a flowing thing of gold.
Yeah.
I feel like Feng remembers Quig warning him against magical traps and stuff and illusion, so he's going to cast Detect Magic and see if the gold dripping is magical.
You cast Detect Magic, the gold is unmagical, but there is something nestled in the pile of gold down the bottom that is insanely magical, Feng.
Can he get everyone to go detour so that he can go see what that is?
You can take Cecilia if you want.
Oh, yeah. Well, she's pregnant. I don't...
Send Put down.
You can take Cecilia. Pregnant women can do things too.
Yeah, Daniel.
Pregnant women can do things. Can pregnant mantelope do?
Hell yeah! It's
Okay.
2024.
All right.
Antelope.
5.
Feng will bring Proby and Cecilia and start riding Cecilia down to.
Heavy. Cecilia is heavy. Before it would have been a graceful spiral, and now it's really just a fall. But she's able to stabilize herself, and Feng, you jump down into this massive gold pile at the bottom of the tunnel.
The meaning of capitalism.
Can you grab some of that gold while you're there?
Promy will start flying some up, and Promy starts flying some of the gold.
Great. You see, as you expend all of your abilities to get this gold hoard from down here back up to the ship, you recover 50 platinum coins and 500 gold.
Whoa.
Whoa.
And as the treasure hoard begins to disappear, you notice that there's something larger in the middle of the gold pile, Feng.
Feng will reach for it.
You pull out golden rivulets of what appears to be petrified wood, inlaid with golden filigree. It is accompanied by a cuirass of spider silk, dyed in vibrant yellows and ochres, and it's embossed with runic depictions of summer flowers, waratahs, sunflowers, and catmint.
Feng, I guess, will hold it up and throw it over his shoulder, and he'll be like, I really liked dressing up when we went to Miss Miranda's in Drób. Maybe this is something I can dress up in later. I'll make sure it's not cursed. And start to ride Cecilia back up to the ship.
Yep, you can get back up there. That's all fine. You see the rogues. Are you distributing this gold evenly amongst the crew?
Feng always has, so yes.
Wonderful.
Can Denis wave his fee and give it more to the crew?
Yeah, if you guys want to, you
Yeah.
can all do that.
Yeah.
You distribute all.
Can we do it loudly and in front of everybody?
No. We couldn't possibly. You guys must have these ones. We have taken enough. You please have the extra gold.
Well done. Great move. Denny, you do this, and then I'm guessing go over and lick Feng's armor for him.
I thought you were going to say Blimp. Shit, I was like, go over and lick Blimp a few
Can I ask, while Denny's doing his whole distribution thing, that Louis will go over and identify?
Oh yeah, of course, go for it.
So as the whole hullabaloo's going on over there, she gives a little Louis gives a little thumbs up to Denny and moves over to Feng. What'd you get?
Just some clothes. I thought I'd look really nice in it. What do you think? Do you reckon it'd look good on me?
Looks like it'd suit you. Do you want me to find out what it does?
Yeah, just make sure there's no demon possessing it, that I'm
Yeah.
going to die when I put it on. Everything I grow and build and make kind of wants to kill me, so
Yeah, I'll make sure it's nice and cleansed for you.
thank you.
And in the identifying, I think Louis pulls out a small little bundle of sage and kind of lights it and dusts it over, like cleansing it to find out what it does.
So boho.
She is. I'm sorry.
You identify this armor as the Armor of Daybreak. This is a piece of heraldry of the summer house of the Eladrin in the Fae Court. It is constructed from the flora of the Fae itself. The summer Eladrin then endowed these armors with their magic, safeguarding the wearers on their crusades. Technically, this is a wondrous magical item. It is medium armor, granting you a +3 to your AC. It will also give you resistance to necrotic damage, once a day free use of the shield spell, and it also has a spell sheet which I will give you.
What?
It has 3 charges. Each charge can be expended to cast once: Daylight, Guardian of Faith, or Hallow.
Oh, shit.
Whoa.
You regain 1d3 expended charges the next day.
Dope.
Oh my god.
So cool.
Feng will, I guess, thank Louis for identifying it, and then look kind of sheepishly at the rest of the Wellspringers and go, I did kind of cast that daylight spell on the air elementals before. Maybe I'm the next sun god, you know? Would anyone be opposed to me wearing this?
Kiddo, you found it. It's yours.
Feng immediately starts putting it on.
You see, as Feng puts it on, this was made for a very slim, dainty twink Eladrin, and instead it's being pulled over this incredibly girthy. But you see, almost magically, the wood and the spider silk expands to Feng's size, and you see it tailors around perfectly like a glove to Feng's form.
How do I look?
You look stunning.
You look like a god, Feng.
I don't know if I would be good as a god, but we'll see one day.
I think you'd be great.
Thank
Herald
you.
of Daylight and Fire stands among us.
Well, I think Shadowfell's gonna need it. So
You see, actually, Lydrin comes up to you, the illithid, the light blue illithid, and says, "You are truly terrifying in this visage.
is that a good thing?
I mean, say what you will. What is good, Feng? You are a god. You decide.
So are you just gonna call all of us Wellspringers gods? 'Cause
You
that's
literally saved me from an existence of expiring in a hole in the ground. You are all gods to me until I gather a new frame of reference, I guess, and rue the day when that happens and I cast you aside."
That sounds like some foreshadowing. I can't wait till we get to Shadowfell.
I would actually really love to test it. I would like to summon my shadow in front of this illithid and see what they think.
Lysandra, you summon your shadow, and you see Lydrin's eyes go wild.
Oh no.
And you see her fall to her knees and bow and say, "In your shadow, Lord Belial." And that is where we will end our session.
Dun, dun,
Holy shit!
what?
Yes.
Whose horse is that?
Whose shadow is that?
Oh shit.
Why do I have the Shadow Lord's shadow?
I don't think your dad
No.
knows about that one.
What have you got cooking?
Well, it also might be that this illithid is not completely across who these shadows are. Like, how descript is your shadow from Old Mate's shadow?
Yeah, but still.
Fairly similar, I'm imagining.
Still not great.
No.
No, well,
I like how we've got like a yin and yang thing going on with Feng and Lysandra.
Yeah, I mean, we
People.
did think early on that could potentially happen, so it is funny that it
And
happens.
the one in the middle.
Cookies.
Denny.
Jenny's stirring the pot.
I am so interested what Holly actually thinks and why she thinks Louis is so, gonna go down a dark path.
That's kind of why I shaded her as Feng, because I was just very much like, we've proven to you by this point, and we have not even brought up once that she double-crossed us last time.
Yeah.
So, it just kind of makes no sense.
For me, I think this is a woman who has seen everyone scorn the power that they've given.
Yeah, that's fine.
And I think she's just beyond giving people the benefit of the doubt, being like, "Oh, but they're a good person, so I trust them with power." Selfless plug this week, gang. This is going to come out a lot longer until after this has obviously been screened, and we're going to have to sedate Oscar at the table. I'm not a theatre person. I don't like theatre. I think the singing and the dancing is too much. I think, why can't you just tell a story without all that stuff? Surely you should be competent as a writer, a producer, a director, to not rely on all this other stuff. And then I saw Wicked. And then I saw Wicked again. I'm saying this right now because we're recording this before release date. Is this before the Oscars when this comes out?
yeah.
Will this be before the Oscars?
Yeah.
Oh, Oscar noms might already be up, but...
Oh, nomination.
Yeah.
No idea.
If Ariana Grande is not nominated for Best Supporting Actor and also wins for Best Supporting Actor, travesty. Travesty. And I know it goes against every single anti-capitalist bone in my body. I wanted to hate it. But those two women and their stories, also gay, sorry, saying it right now.
So
gay. It's so gay, it's not even funny. At the end, I was like, kiss! Don't defy gravity, just kiss! But anyway, that's my plug. I don't need to plug one of the biggest movies of the year,
I
obviously.
was going to say, of last year, it was probably one of the top three.
But I need to say this in media right now. Wicked is one of those movies. There is going to be the Lord of the Rings in the early 2000s, the Harry Potters. It's going to change the expectations of movies moving forward, and I'm happy for that. And that's what I plug.
My media brain, and I really hope that this happens, I want blockbuster films to all be practical effects.
Yes.
And the low to mid budget are what are CGI and special effects, because it just makes the immersion so much more authentic
100%.
and real.
And we love immersion down here at the Down Under Dungeon podcast. And as always, don't forget to follow us on our socials at Down Under Dungeon Pod or from our link tree. Send us or tag us in any and all of your fan art, and you can always reach us by email at downunderdungeonpod@gmail.com. Also, if you're feeling very friendly, please give us a 5-star rating on both Apple Podcasts and Spotify, which gives the podcast a chance to grow, and we will see you next week.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.